All right, everybody. I'd like to introduce our next presenter here at the Planet MicroCap Showcase. I think he traveled the farthest to be here, all the way from, you're based in Bulgaria? Munich, yeah, all the way from Munich. We have Wolfgang Kirsch from Shelly Group.
Thanks, Robert. That was a special honor. So that's first. Let me start with the lawyer's favorite. So we'll just click through that. I heard a couple of rumors. Maybe that's why Robert was here. That Shelly is an investment firm founded by his father, Shelly. So his name of his father, Shelly. It's not true. We are only a smart home company. We are making buildings smart. We do this in a special way, and we are quite successful in Europe at the beginning in the United States. The first Shelly came to the market so the first of our devices in 2018. So that's not such a long history. We sold a total of 13 million devices in that period. In the last 12 months, so basically in 2023, we sold 5 million devices, which means that we are growing really rapidly. We have our devices in around about 3 million households. We have to guess that a little bit. I come to this in a second. And we added 900,000 households in the last year. So again, it proves that we are growing quite fast. We have our own application, the Shelly app that is steering your home. We have 1.2 million users of our application, and we added more than 500,000 last year. Why do we have to guess a couple of these things? Because our products work with 150 other applications. Obviously, the normal ones like Amazon Alexa and Google and all that stuff, but we have 150 different applications that use our devices, and a lot of our devices never touch the cloud. That's one of the things that are special about Shelly. I come to that. As well, price-wise, we are in the middle. Normally, you say in the middle is not a good place, but we feel perfectly well in the middle. We are half as expensive as our main top competitors. And we have twice the price of the cheap Chinese ones. So if a Chinese device, by the way, that's a small Shelly. If a Chinese device is $10, ours is $20, and the competition is then 40 or 50. So we have quite a gap to the top competition, and we want to be more expensive than the Chinese ones, and we offer a lot more. How does this work? So all that stuff. This is, as I said, this is a Shelly, a mini. That's one of the smallest relays in the world. And you see retrofit, you see that this works behind your wall switch. So you take the wall switch out of the wall, put the cables here, connect the wall switch to this device, put everything back in the wall. And from this moment onwards, the switch keeps 100% of its functionality. That's completely different, for example, compared to Philips Hue. So if you use the bulk of Philips Hue, the wall switch loses at least partially its functionality. In our case, it switches on and off. If someone does not know how to use a smart device or doesn't want to bother with a smartphone or something else, it still works perfectly. But from this moment onwards, you can use your smartphone, you can use a remote control, you can say, Alexa, switch my light on, and then this small device switches the light. You can use a timer. You can connect it to a weather service or other forecasts, like switch on the light 15 minutes after the light goes, the sun goes down every evening, switch it on in the morning. So whatever you tell to this device, it's doing it. We have as well plug-and-play devices that do not need electric installation. That's, for example, a plug that you put in the power socket, connect the device like the coffee machine here, or connect a lamp or whatever. And we have as well, if you make a new construction, we have something that goes in the central distribution box. That's professional devices that are easy to maintain later, because if something breaks, you have to know where this device sits in your home. Not that easy, but that is the main business. So what is different between Shelly and other devices? I will not go through all of this because it will be very technical. But one main thing is, and that's what customers like, is I said already, this device works without a cloud connection if you want. Of course, through the cloud, you can remote control your home. But if you say, and there are a lot of people saying, I don't want my data in any cloud, wherever it sits, especially not in the Chinese cloud from the cheap Chinese competitors, but whatever cloud it is, I don't want my data in there. And we have a lot of customers doing that. They have their own solutions. They have just connected devices directly You just use your Wi-Fi router at home and it works. And that means as well, if something breaks down with internet, so you don't have a connection, the device still works because a big part of the intelligence is built in here. It has open protocols. That's a very simple reason why 150 other companies are using our devices. Some of them are building management companies. We have one big customer in South America using our devices for remote controlling McDonald's restaurants. So switching on or controlling if everything is switched off at a certain time, the light is still on with one of our devices. Not a big business for us, but for him it's a very good thing. And there are a lot of other features that others do not have. If we compare ourselves with competition, we have like 10 times as much features as they have, and we have half the price. Financials. So whenever I present the financials, some people say something must be wrong, and I go quickly through that. That's, by the way, I think the favorite chart of every CEO. I'm CEO of the company, or CFO, or salesman. If everything goes in this direction, that's quite nice. The last years, we were growing our revenue over 50%. We have an EBIT margin that is above 25%, 25.5 in the last year. And whenever people say, where will this go? Will this go in a direction of 30? I say no. If it goes in a direction of 30% EBIT margin, not EBITDA margin, I think we would give too much room to competition. And Jeff Bezos once said that the margin of others is my opportunity. So that's why we should reinvest if we make more, if we could make more margin, EBIT margin, into the market in faster growth. And we have enough cash to finance the next years. We made the calculations for the next 2 years, so we will not run out of money. The main cash driver or cash consuming thing is the working capital. So we have to buy our products in the factory. The chips we have to buy 6 months before. Then we have big customers that require long payment terms, like 30 days or 60 days. So that's a long chain that we have to finance, but we have enough money to do so. And in the first quarter, we already disclosed our growth. We grew by 45.5%. So the story continues. And EBIT-wise, it would be a big surprise if this is as well not going in the right direction. This is the main financials on one page. We will not go through that because you will not find a single number that is not good. And then a lot of people say, what's wrong with this company? Where is the mistake? There is no mistake. It just works, and we are super happy that we are continuing having products that are outperforming the market, and with this, that we are continuing to grow. We gave out a guidance from 2023 to 2026. So you see that for this year, we expect a growth rate of above 40%. Some people are disappointed because we are not planning to grow above 50%, or let me say in better words, we are not promising to grow about over 50% again, because the base is growing as well, and it's euro-wise or dollar-wise, it's harder and harder to keep the 50% growth rate. But until 2026, we expect to grow on a level of around or above 200 million euros. That's all in euros, so which means that $220 million roundabout. And here you find the 25% EBIT margin again, which means 50 million euros in EBIT. Where shall this come from? When we first gave out the guidance of 200 million in 2026, that's now around about a year ago, a lot of people, a lot of investors, and a lot of potential investors said, come on, they are exaggerating. That's a company doing 50 million, and now they talk about making 4 times the revenue in 2026. That's too much. When we confirmed the guidance after publishing our results from last year, the first people said that's not ambitious anymore, because it's going down to 40%, or it's only a CAGR of 38. So of course, we always say above 200, and we have clear ideas where this should come from. Let me go through these potentials. So first is the market. We are lucky that we are in a market that is growing. The smart home market will grow. That's what all sources say, will grow by around about 20% year over year for the next 6, 7, 8, 10 years. in 10 years, everything will be smart. Every switch will be smart at home. This is not only because it's a gadget and it's something that geeks like, 10 years ago, the first people said, look, I can show you that with my smartphone, I can switch on the light. Nowadays, it's much more. It's as well convenient, makes your life easier. It's nice if you drive home and automatically the lights in the garden switch on or the garage door opens, that's all fine. But one main driver, mainly in Europe, and I'm sure that this will come in the United States as well, is the energy prices. Because with our devices, you can control and monitor the energy consumption, the electricity consumption in your home. So the device that I've showed you, this one, is as well at the same time showing you how much electricity am I consuming with this, in this room with the light or with whatever you steer with it. That's something that is very important. But the next step is that you can reduce your energy bill by 30, maybe even 40%, depending how you use the Shelly devices. And you can use that, and that's a big driver for our revenue. You can use this as well for controlling, monitoring your solar system that you have on your roof. In Europe now, very famous are so-called balcony solar systems that you can put on your balcony or in your garden. Very easy without permit. You just put the plug into the socket, and you have your own small power plant. And our device monitors how much energy the solar panels are producing, and then you can switch something. So if the system tells you there is enough energy, the batteries are full, now charge the car, or now switch on the washing machine, or now switch on the air condition. Although you're not at home, but you want to have it cold when you arrive, and now you have enough energy that you don't have to use energy at night when there is no sun anymore. So all these things are working very well, and we have good relations to a lot of the balcony power station manufacturers that use our devices to steer the energy flow. We even have a relation that we did not know. We just found out that Huawei, one of the biggest producer of solar panels worldwide, is recommending our product for steering the energy flow, and they have integrated that in their owner's manual. So how to integrate the Shelly in our system, we didn't know that, so they just did it, which is again very easy. We have an open API. They can get information if they use one of our devices. So market is very positive. We have a regional expansion that is planned. We are doing 50% of our revenue in the DACH region, that is Germany, Austria, Switzerland, the German-speaking area. We are good in Italy, in Spain. We are at the very beginning in France, in the UK. We are good in Nordics. And we made a simple calculation here. If we would have the same revenue as we have in the German-speaking area, in all the countries in Europe and in the United States, we should have done last year instead of 75, 400 million. That shows the potential. That will not work out 100%. And I'm 100% sure that in one of the countries we will fail. Maybe we will never be successful in France. It's completely different to Germany, or in the UK, or in one other region of Europe. We make first steps in Australia. Amazon Australia contacted us. They sell our products now. We have first steps in Asia and in the United States as well. We are at the relative beginning. Even if it doesn't work everywhere, we will make our 200 million in 2026. Today, we are mainly a do-it-yourself brand. That might sound a little bit strange, but most customers do this, install this themselves. We made a study. We asked 10,000 of our we got answers from 10,000 of our customers. 80% of them say we do this on our own. Might sound strange, and especially our US colleagues tell me all the time that the United States is not a market where people would do that. I ask myself, who is buying in Home Depot then? All the stuff, all the electric stuff. That's maybe not the main market, and as well in Europe, do-it-yourself for electricity is not, or electrical installation is not the main market. That's why we are working now towards the professional market. We started an initiative. We have something that we call the Installer Finder. We started that 4 weeks ago. First country is Germany. We have now 400 installers live on our website. So the customer goes to our website. He says, I don't want to install that myself. I don't feel comfortable. He types in his postal code and he gets a recommendation of an installer that is registered, that we have trained, and we will have separate training sessions to make this installer really fit. So the very basic is already done. The end is scripting with Shelly, so you can change the code of this device to let it make something different than the original setting of the device. So all this is on the way. This is a much bigger market than the do-it-yourself market. As I said, 80% of what we are doing today is do-it-yourself, so the potential is huge here. And we see first very good results. By the way, we've asked as well these customers, what is your technical knowledge? And 30% of those guys say, I'm an electrician. So the electricians using the product already, some of them for their homes, they have the technical background, and now step by step, they are using this for their customers. Product potential. I told you that the first Shelly came to the market in 2018. There was just one device. Now we have round about 70 devices, so much more. We have dimmers, we have pure energy metering devices. We have products for the central breaker box, for the retrofit, the small one. So a huge variety and some accessories as well. And we are adding more products. And why is this a big source for revenue? I'll give you just one example. Product that is sold in huge quantities in Europe and in some regions of the United States is a TRV. That's a valve for the radiators. Last year we didn't have it. The year before we had one. It was just the first. We had to stop it because there was no chip available. The chip is coming from Silicon Labs, and they stopped this chip development. It's not available anymore. The new chip is there. We will have the device back for this heating season, and that's a device that we expect to sell round about 200,000 pieces. The average price is somewhere around 40, 50 euros, so which is delivering a big step, a big proportion of the revenue. We have one other device, or two other devices actually, that we didn't have now for 2 years, that are a bit special devices that we sell in huge quantities. So adding more devices will bring more revenue. We are working on a camera. We don't have a camera right now. If we have the cameras, which will be in 2025, 2026, this will add a big proportion to our revenue because that's a big market. Products are quite expensive. Our cloud. I told you that we have 1.2 million users of our cloud. We are not forcing customers into our cloud. That's I think, one of the big strengths of Shelly. I told you that we are not forcing them in any cloud. We're not forcing them to use our specific application, but 1.2 million are doing that. Last year, we started with a paid version of our application that adds a professional weather service, that adds some artificial intelligence. The system tells you that the light is switched on at 3 o'clock at night when normally it's not switched on. So it learns your habits and gives you feedback if something is wrong. In the next step, it will tell you if one of your electric devices is broken or potentially broken. If the refrigerator is consuming electricity all the time without break, normally it's consuming, it stops, it's consuming, it stops. If this rhythm is broken and it uses electricity all the time, most probably the door is open. You forgot to close the door. It gives you a signal. Or the device is broken because it's not working in the typical way. So all this is in a paid version. Monthly costs are €3.99. Yearly costs 35 euros. We have first results. Way too early to say will be a huge success, but we see that it goes into the right direction. A huge potential. That's recurring revenue. That's the next step. And if I told you 25% EBIT margin, this is mainly hardware business. And there are some of our competitors telling us that, or telling the investors that we are making losses, with the hardware, but one day we will monetize all our data and then it will change. So we might monetize our data. We might monetize the application. That would be on top. That's the icing on the cake, but we are super profitable already today. And something very new, we have a module business. That means the Shelly solution on a chip, on a PCB and on a chip. And we are starting to sell that to third parties, like manufacturers of refrigerators, of microwave ovens, of robo lawnmowers, of robo vacuum cleaners. And this is an integration that brings this device, makes this device smart and intelligent. and brings it into the Shelly cloud, or again, we don't force people to be in our cloud or in our solution to any other that the manufacturer wants. That's very new. That's a huge potential, because here we talk about smaller revenues per piece, but about huge quantities. If we convince a manufacturer of household appliances, they're selling millions, and we have the first very small steps with some manufacturers that want to try it out. Too early to say this will be a game changer, but it has the potential to be a game changer. And as I said, all these initiatives, if they are becoming true, if they are realized, we will make much more. I don't expect that all of this works, but I as well do not expect that nothing works. So if the middle way comes, we will be on 200 million plus revenue and 25% EBIT margin in 2026. I skipped the summary. That's all what I said, because I already got the signal that my time is over. Are there questions? Oh, a lot of questions. Yeah.
How do you raise consumer awareness of your go-to-market marketing strategy?
That's a very good question. I could talk an hour about that. In DACH, our first region, the German region, it just happened. We sold the product via our own web shop. Then some customers, some geeks found out that's a great product. I can do something with it. There is no big support from Shelly. We are located in Sofia and in Bulgaria. And they said, let's form a group of people that is helping themselves. And that group of people now has more than 100,000 members in Germany only. Plus another group that formed, that's 40,000 people in a Facebook group that's not owned by us. It just happened. Now it's with the help of companies like Amazon. Amazon is the biggest channel for smart home products you just have worldwide. You have all the reviews. You see the reviews of Shelly products in the European Amazon stores. It's amazing. And that helps to spread this now to other countries. That's something that you cannot copy. If we now would say, let's do exactly the same in Asia and United States, it would not work. You cannot write this in a book. It just happened. So now, of course, we add Google search, we add Facebook paid campaigns. We use our customer base. We know which device they have in the cloud. We know what they're using the devices for. We can address them directly, telling them there is a new device that is a remote control that perfectly fits to this one here. Why don't you buy that and add that? So that's what we do now. But at the beginning, it just happened. That's not for the cloud. That's for the basic application that you use to steer your Shelly devices is for free. If you have the premium version of this application that adds some more information, that adds a professional weather service, that is what you pay for. We are not disclosing this now. It's too early. Whenever we have this discussion, it raises some imaginations that are, and we want to calm that down. One thing, maybe in one day we will even offer this for free, because it's no need to get that money. If it works, it's fine. If not, and now it looks like it works. No, there is no acquisition built in that. We are with this question comes often. We are open for acquisition, but we are not desperately looking for acquisition. If you grow 40, 50%, we are a small organization. We have 220 people now. So you have to digest an acquisition. And if we would make an acquisition, it would only be a company that is in good health. So we would not buy a restructuring case that you can buy cheap, because we don't have the capacity to do. We have to digest our growth. And the other thing is, we would only buy a company that gives us access to markets that we cannot access easily. And then the question is, what does it cost? And if we do it on our own, it will take 2-3 years. So we buy 2-3 years for a big amount of money. One last question. Yeah, so it is a combination. So the big growth will even in 10 years will still be retrofit, because there are a lot of renovations. The new market, we are competing against really big players in the market. They are strong. The electricians know them. So the professional market will take a while. That's what we learned, that this is, you know, you start communicating with a wholesaler, it needs 2 years until they decide. So that's a long way. It will be a combination of all. So sorry, I couldn't answer all the questions. I'm around, so you can ask. My one-on-ones tomorrow are completely booked out, but if we find space between the meetings, happy to answer.